I am sick of Trump voters trying to grill me on Biden's age and Biden's cognitive capacity when the current president of the United States is showing severe signs of decline and it's bleeding into his policy every single day. We are going to demonstrate his decline throughout this video, and to help me, I'm bringing in contributor Chris Mowrey. You know, the right-wing media ecosystem has been built up for decades with billions of dollars, and now we are trying to flip the script and punch back with facts, with relentless fact checking, with pushback 24/7, and you can help us build that. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe below, and check out Chris Mowrey.
The video to my right has been going very viral on the internet because it is a great way to show Donald Trump's very clear cognitive decline. This is something we've talked a lot about on this channel. I know a lot of you have been screaming about it for a long time, and I always say we've been screaming about Donald Trump's just general IQ for a long time. But in terms of cognitive decline, the mainstream media is finally starting to pick this up. You can hear the rumbles as people who may not pay attention to politics as much are finally like looking at this guy and saying, what the hell is going on? He rambles for long periods of time. It's incoherent. He stumbles over his words. In the middle of the night, he's on True Social typing QAnon level conspiracy theories. And this isn't like you or I or somebody's uncle. This is the president of the United States, the leader of the free world. So we're going to react to this video together. It's a really, really good video. Before I go there, though, I want to read this comment really quickly from Michael. Keep building your network, Adam. Chris has been a great addition. Keep on keeping on. First of all, once again, my name's Chris Mowrey. I'm filling in for Adam Mockler on the Adam Mockler channel. Michael, I appreciate this comment so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys have shown so much love. We're building something big here to punch back against MAGA. And if you want to join this community, all you have to do is click subscribe down below. And once again, my YouTube channel will be in the link in the description. You guys have shown so much love, not only to Adam, but to me. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you. It means so much. All right, let's start playing this video. Let's react to it. I truly don't know if you're prepared for this, so let's take a look.
Donald Trump is becoming increasingly incoherent, as was on display for the world yesterday at a round table in Qatar. He rambled for more than 25 straight minutes in a nonsensical fashion. Now, sometimes when one is listening to Trump, the sound of his voice makes it hard to focus on the actual words. So I just want to read you a small verbatim transcript of just a section of what he was saying at this roundtable. These are the literal words of the President of the United States. When you look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, the drone is killing tremendous numbers of people. You hide behind a tree and the drone comes down and it circles you with fire. You don't have a chance and the tree comes down also, by the way. It's so intense, you see these trees being knocked down like they're being sawed down by a top-of-the-line timberman, like, you know who? Sean Duffy. You know that Sean Duffy, the head of the transportation department, who's...
We're going to pause right there for a second. You already see where this is headed, and it's not good. And trust me, it gets a lot worse. I think it's really great that people are reading transcripts, because this is something I was trying to do when I was like 15 years old, when I would scream at people about Trump's first term. If you read what he says on a piece of paper, it's like so incoherent, and it's gotten much worse. And I actually think this ties in to the fact that this video was actually, the video I'm showing you, was released a week before the White House did this. Again, you talk about like the White House really starting to panic over this issue as people talk about it more. White House purges transcripts of Trump's remarks from its website. The White House told NBC News it has decided to post only videos. There still is one transcript remaining online, however, Trump's inaugural address. The White House has removed official transcripts of President Donald Trump's public remarks from its government website, replacing them with selected videos of his public appearances. As recently as Sunday, transcripts of Trump's speeches and comments were still showing up in the quote remarks section of whitehouse.gov. The next day, they were gone. Snapshots of the site from an Internet Archive show. The only transcript appearing now is of Trump's inaugural address on January 20th. So the White House actually stopped providing transcripts to the media. They removed all the previous transcripts of Donald Trump. Now it's only audio and video. And this has never been done before, right? Every single time for every other president, pretty much, the White House, after the president speaks or speaks to reporters, will give an official transcript. And this is for a variety of reasons. One of which, it actually protects the president in some ways politically, because if he says something that's either taken out of context, or somebody like says he said something that he didn't say, we can point to the official transcript, or he can, or she can in this instance, and say, hey, look, this is what I said. And so that's number one. Number two, it's used by a lot of governments around the world, those official transcripts, to translate into their language. This is something that hasn't been talked about much, but is actually also a huge problem that a lot of these governments around the world are now scrambling to figure out how they can essentially translate what Trump is saying and give it to maybe like their people high up in their government and their leaders, so they understand what to be doing for their country. Now, the White House claims that the reason they did this was, quote, in an effort to maintain consistency, previous transcripts that were available have been removed and replaced with audio and visual components of that transcript. The White House continues to work to upload the multitude of public engagements that the president has done, and will continue to make sure that the website consists of a full and complete representation of the president's public comments. And in a statement, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said, quote, the president's remarks are live on the website for every person in the world, including journalists, to access and watch for themselves. The Trump White House is the most transparent in history. Well, this is literally the least transparent. And it's interesting because they say they're doing it for consistency, that, we just want everybody to just see video and audio. But it's interesting because J.D. Vance's office, the vice president, is still releasing transcripts. And when they asked J.D. Vance's office about it, he just said, had no comment. So it's very clear that they're scraping these transcripts because they don't want people to pay attention to Donald Trump's very clear cognitive decline. And it's so much more obvious when you read it. So let's keep listening.
Working right now on the airports and getting a system because Biden didn't do a thing for 4 years, and Pete Buttigieg was the head, and he goes bicycling to work. He takes a bicycle to work. Can you believe it? He's head. He's running the biggest air system in the world, and he takes a bicycle to work. And they say he's going to run for president. I don't see it. Who knows, right? But I don't see it. But when I look at what they've done, it's so horrible what they've done. And the work they did do, they wasted billions of dollars. They tried to hook up air systems to copper. They tried to hook up copper to glass, and the glass doesn't work with the copper. And they had 30,000 different contractors doing 30,000 jobs. And when they put it all together, they spent billions of dollars. It didn't even come close to working, and we were going to be giving out a brand new system. It's very important. We'll have the best system, and we think we know who that system is, but we have a lot of bidding. We want one check. We want a unified system. We don't have 5,000 contractors and all different places, some digging ditches and some not doing ditches because they want to go by satellite. Satellite seems to be the way to go, but so we're going to be giving that out pretty soon. But what people don't know about Sean, because I mentioned lumberjacks, that Sean, you probably didn't know this, that I'm not talking about this Sean. This Sean, no, not this is not. This is a different Sean. Sean Duffy, the head of transportation, he's a great Sean, though, I have to tell you. But Sean Duffy was the world champion for 5 years climbing trees. Down, up and down, world champion. So that's what you call a serious lumberjack. And he's doing a fantastic job, too. A really respected guy and terrific guy. And I mentioned the champion because when somebody's the champion, he's the world champion for a long time. He came down. When you come down those...
Okay, I've got to take a pause, and I think you probably need this too, because again, I want to remind you where we started, which was Russia and Ukraine. Like I'm listening to that, and you are too, and like I'm struggling so much to figure out where we're going or what we're even talking about in the moment. This is very clear cognitive decline on display. And look, you watch it. You watch Donald Trump ramble incoherently, you watch him do these things, and it's obvious. But when you read it, It's so bad. And again, that's why the White House is getting rid of these transcripts, not providing transcripts for the first time ever, because they don't want people to read this stuff. They do not want you to see this, literally. It actually hurts my brain. It hurts my brain.
Trees coming down at a rapid, he said that it started getting your back. You will often break your back. You miss a shot, and you're coming down a lot faster than the human body was meant to come down. But he's doing a fantastic job at transportation. But this has been a very historic trip. Trump then continued for more than 20 more minutes. Again, these are the literal words of the President of the United States. You can hear them for yourself at the White House website, on the White House's YouTube channel. They have posted the video for people to see in its entirety. It can be... Sometimes it's not helpful to play the game of, can you imagine if Joe Biden did this or if Barack Obama did this? But the fact of the matter is, if any former president had rambled nonsensically for 20 minutes in front of the world stage, the mainstream media would be having reports about whether he had a stroke, whether the 25th Amendment should be invoked, whether the President of the United States is mentally competent to do his job. The fact of the matter is, this is the oldest president to ever have been sworn in, and I've been listening to his speeches for about a decade now, and they are making less sense than ever.
I think that's beautifully said, every part of it. And it's not always helpful to do the whataboutisms, but in this case, it's incredibly helpful because, again, it goes back actually to something really important, which is the continuing normalization of this president in any given issue, whether it's him rambling incoherently and just, oh, that's just trumping Trump, or the disgusting things he says about women, which was, normalized, unfortunately, early on, him ignoring federal judges. It goes to every single issue, which is just, he can do this over and over and over again, and eventually we all become normalized to it. Nobody cares anymore. If Joe Biden did this, there would be smoke coming out of the Fox News studios in New York City, and people would say, Chris, what's going on? Well, what's on fire? I'd say, their servers are on fire, their cameras are overheating because they've been doing 24/7 nonstop coverage of Joe Biden's cognitive decline. If he ever spoke like this, it would be non-stop. But this is just trumping Trump. He just, posts QAnon conspiracy theories at 3 a.m. He just rambles incoherently. It's gross. But it's also really important that we continue to talk about it and fight against the normalization. Listen, once again, my name is Chris Mowrey. I'm filling in for Adam Mockler on the Adam Mockler channel. If you enjoyed this video, my YouTube channel will be in the description down below. I can't say it enough. I really appreciate all the love and support lately. It means the world. Keep on keeping on. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.